Hello, I'm Father Bill Rakowitz from Loyola on the Potomac Retreat House. I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts on sin. As children, we were taught that sin is an offense against God, neighbor, or oneself. The present Catechism of the Catholic Church expounds on this and states that sin is an offense against reason, truth, and right conscience. It is a failure in genuine love for God and neighbor, caused by disordered attachments to certain goods. It wounds the nature of people and injures human solidarity. It has been defined as a word, deed, or a desire contrary to the eternal law. We were created in the image of God who is good, and thus we are ordered to doing good acts. Thus no one wants to offend, fail, or pervert anything. But in sin, we deceive ourselves and choose an evil or lesser good, because it is good for me, though not good for the rest of people. It is good and expedient for this moment and situation, but not for all times and places. Sin is a mystery. Many times sins are the converse of our better selves and attributes. As when we say a person is generous to a fault, where in their generosity for a good cause, they may neglect their responsibilities to oneself or to one's family. Jesus told his followers to remove the logs from their own eyes before attempting to remove a splinter from their neighbor's eye. I can easily see faults in the people with whom I rub shoulders on a daily basis, but I am blind to my own wrongdoing. The other problem we have with sin is saying everybody else is doing it. What's wrong with my doing it also? Social sin, where everyone is blind to the obvious wrongdoing. The habit of sin can so cloud our conscience, where we become incapable of judging between good and evil. In his letter to the Romans, Paul says, I do what I do not want to do. Who can save me from this? Thanks be to God for Christ Jesus. As Christians, we are all called to examine our actions and to bring them to Christ, to see whether they align with his in service of God the Father. Then I find it helpful to ask God for the grace to knock us off our high horses whenever we delude ourselves. Paul was sincerely trying to do God's will before his conversion. And Christ brought him down to the truth of what he really was doing in persecuting the church. Ask, and you will always get an answer to this prayer.